We all aspire to have a balanced life, right? A life in which we are perfectly balanced between our different spheres such as work, family, personal life, relationships, and everything else. And this quest is quite commendable. We would like to have enough time to do everything and never neglect anything. Time for sports, time to be with family, time to work and earn a living, time to pursue your dreams, etc. It is a very popular ideal that we hear more and more about. No wonder the search phrases how to have a balanced lifestyle, how to balance work and family, and how to have time to do everything are so in demand on Google. But what would you say if I told you that this notion of life balance is a myth, an almost unattainable ideal? What is life balance? In simple terms, we could say that living a balanced life means having enough time to take on all of our life responsibilities without neglecting anything. And in general, we both have two major spheres of life to reconcile, each of which includes several responsibilities that also require a balance. On one hand, there is the personal life, including all kinds of responsibilities, such as daily management, housework, shopping, meal preparation, etc. Health, sleep, relaxation, physical activity, doctor, etc. The family, spouse, children, parents, brothers and sisters, etc. The social side, friends, hobbies, etc. Spirituality, meditation, prayer, etc. And on the other hand, professional or entrepreneurial life with various responsibilities, such as administration, emails, calls, paperwork, vocational training, the key responsibilities of your job, specific projects, the objectives to be achieved, professional relations, reconciling personal and professional life. It is therefore, of course, necessary to reconcile personal and professional life. This involves spending just enough time at work while still having quality time on a personal level. When someone is unbalanced at this level and spends, for example, too much time at work, we say that this person has no life. They say she burns herself out at work, neglects her personal life, and probably shouldn't be happy. The reverse is also true. If someone spends too much time on their personal life and not enough time at work, they are said to be lazy and not doing anything with their life. Life balance therefore involves, first of all, reconciling personal and professional life. Reconciling professional and personal responsibilities. Then, within each sphere of life, it is also necessary to reconcile the different responsibilities that flow from it. Otherwise, certain responsibilities will certainly be neglected. For example, if in my personal time I spend all my time on hobbies like video games or going out with friends, then I certainly risk neglecting other aspects of my personal life, like playing sports or cleaning my house. Or if I spend all my time with the children, then I may not have any personal time left to indulge in my passions. I then risk saying again, I have no more life. And if at work, I spend too much time doing administrative tasks, like reading my emails and managing my paperwork, then I may not have enough time to move forward on Project X that my boss asked me to do. Whether in personal or professional life, balance involves being able to balance all of these responsibilities and giving them enough time to fulfill them and not neglect them. But as I said in the introduction, this ideal is a myth. This is unrealistic and practically impossible to achieve in practice. In life, you can only do one thing at a time. If you spend time on one thing, you cannot automatically spend time on another. It is impossible to divide your time in two. So that means that if I do something, I do nothing else. For example, if I answer my emails, I am not writing an article. And the problem with balance is that it requires dividing your time to try to do everything and neglect nothing. Balance suggests, for example, you have to devote enough time to each of your responsibilities. So you have to divide your time between your emails, your important projects, and your customer relations to achieve this. And the problem is that when you try to be everywhere, you are nowhere. It is impossible to do everything. I repeat, it is totally impossible to do everything. Because by trying to do everything, we do nothing concrete. For example, if I try to answer my emails, return my calls, do some administrative tasks, and write an article in the same morning, I will not finish any of it 100%. I might answer a few emails, return 1 or 2 calls, and write 300 words for my article. But I won't finish anything 100%. Whereas if I spend 3 hours fully focused on my article by deliberately neglecting my emails, calls, and administrative tasks, then I will surely be able to finish the article. However, the balance precisely suggests that I spend a little time on each thing to assume them and neglect nothing. And that is exactly the problem, because it is impossible to be perfectly balanced. We are always in the middle, always in balance, and we never go to extremes. We spend a little time on everything like family, health, friends, work, specific projects, etc. But in reality, it is difficult to accomplish anything concrete. But the problem is that accomplishments occur at the extremes of this pattern. In fact, when you voluntarily spend a lot of time on one dimension, that's where you see real results. For example, if I go to the gym 6 times a week, I will definitely see big results because I put my all into it. Well, it's sure that by going to the gym so often, I may have a certain imbalance and neglect my relationship with my friends, because the time I spend at the gym, I don't spend it with my friends. But if my goal is to be muscular, I have no choice but to have an imbalance, to train intensely and see results. Conversely, if I go to the gym only twice a week, trying to have a balanced lifestyle, I will never see so many results. Certainly, I will have more time to see my friends, but the results of my physical condition will be less. The reason balance is a myth is that it's the opposite of productivity, because productivity is all about accomplishments. Productivity is the ability to perform our most important activities efficiently, not to perform all of our activities. What matters is doing the things that have real value, not trying to do everything. Because do you say that all activities do not have the same value? Responding to my emails is worth much less than the fact that I write an article. Cleaning my house does not have the same value as spending quality time with my wife. And if I actually want to write an article, I definitely need to spend less time in my inbox, just as I certainly have to neglect house cleaning for a period, in order to get out and spend some quality time with my wife. If I try to be perfectly balanced between my emails and my article, I risk spending 1 hour reading my emails and 1 hour writing. However, if I am deliberately unbalanced and spend 15 minutes in my emails and 1 hour and 45 minutes writing, I will see much more results. In short, life balance does not work because it limits accomplishments. By trying to devote a little time to each thing, we are unable to fully invest in a single dimension, which limits the results that we can achieve. Because I repeat, to accomplish anything in life, you have to invest yourself fully in a particular dimension and invest a lot of time and energy in it. And that necessarily involves being unbalanced. So I would say this: to be productive, you have to be deliberately unbalanced. And this brings us to the solution: temporary imbalance. Rather than looking for the perfect balance at all times, which is impossible and contrary to productivity, it is better to aim for temporary imbalances. This is the only real way to pursue a certain balance in life, while ensuring that you accomplish meaningful things. Because anyway, life is punctuated by several imbalances, depending on the season and the circumstances. For example, when you were in school, you all experienced the hard end of term. This necessarily implies that you devoted almost all your time to your studies for 2 to 3 weeks at the expense of your personal life. You sacrificed outings and personal time to face this end of session and succeed in your exams. It was a temporary imbalance that was necessary for you to be successful in your studies. And if you had sought to remain perfectly balanced even at the end of your session, then you would not have succeeded in devoting enough time and energy to your studies, which would have made you fail. The real solution that must be strived for in order to be productive and manage your time well is to aim for a good balance in life in general, while accepting temporary imbalances. In other words, you have to voluntarily accept being out of balance in certain areas of your life for a temporary period in order to invest yourself fully in a dimension and accomplish something. Example, my tax season. I am currently in a period of temporary imbalance for 8 weeks. It's tax time, and I have to serve all of my customers by the deadline. In addition, I have to continue my activities as a blogger, coach, and trainer, as well as my part-time job. You have therefore understood that during this period of 2 months, I am completely overwhelmed with work, and I have much less time to devote to my sphere of personal life and my other projects. My leisure time and moments with my wife are reduced. My online course project is not progressing as I would like, but it's only temporary. I have to invest myself fully in my sphere of professional life for a while, because it is the only window of opportunity I have to generate an income there. So I am purposely off balance the whole time. But as soon as this period is over, I resume a normal rhythm of life, and I bring my wife to the south to compensate for the imbalance we had to go through during this time. Well, to sum up, the idea is not to aim for the perfect life balance at all times, because that is impossible. And by trying to do everything at the same time, we do nothing at all. The idea is to aim for an overall life balance by operating according to temporary imbalances. It is therefore sometimes necessary to be out of balance for a time, in order to devote oneself to an activity of great impact and accomplish it. But afterwards, you have to get back to normal and invest time in the areas that you have neglected.